My gamers, what is up? Coming at you with episode 14 of Farms Out. In the saddest turner event ever, our daily upload that requires me to do something I am literally supposed to do every day, crashed halfway through, which is really, really sad. Anyway, we're gonna go through these questions again. You guys are gonna see much less of the farms because I'm just answering questions. So sorry the video is shorter today. That is on me. All right, first question from Itachi Uchiha. Or Ichiwa. I would like to know what the minimum investment for Richard is to chain level 50s. It gets smashed over a few chains, minus 511 currently. The question here is almost, I would say it's built off of an assumption that you should be chaining level 50 plus barbs. I would posit that you shouldn't. I would say that you probably shouldn't be running level 50 plus barbs as your average, considering level 50 barbs and level 41 barbs both have the same drops. The only difference is going to be honor and crystals. So if you're not going for an honor skin, and I don't think the crystals are worth it enough, considering like a level 50 plus barb is probably going to be like 3 times harder to kill than like level 51 versus level 41 is like 3 times as hard, maybe a little harder, and it does not have 3 times the rewards. So I'd be very skeptical about doing that. If you're dying to level 50 pluses, just stick with the lower levels and you should be all right. Personally, at level 511 Richard should be fine. I went 5-5-1-1 with mine because I prefer to have that second ability up. I think it does well for my March overall, makes it more effective. But I mean, if you're already in Season of Conquest, the 5-1-1 is probably fine. I know it's my new Q&A series, but occasionally in the Q&A series, we also gather resources. Don't tell anybody. Okay, keep it to yourself. Do not let this information leak. Next question from the Blue the Real. Hey 12, question here. I'm thinking of switching civs from Ottoman Empire from France. Is it worth it as a player who focuses on infantry? I would say probably not. The Ottoman Empire seems to be getting weaker over time with the new Mighty Heal coming out and the 2 smite marches we have as infantry right now. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense too. Especially if you're focusing on infantry, you're probably gonna have what, 2 smite marches between like Wallace Gorgo and like Alex LC, and like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I would posit Rome, probably. The 5% movement speed there and the infantry stats. Personally, I don't think focusing on infantry in any capacity is like a particularly good idea, but if you are going to run it, I'd run it with Rome personally. I don't think that Ottoman, I wouldn't say that Ottoman doesn't have a place in the meta, but it's much less effective than it used to be. Next question from ZK. Hey 12, I'm currently working on my 3rd March, which is Infantry Scipio 5551 and LC is at 5535. Is it a good idea to start a Siege March and start buying Margaret dailies? I already have expertise Nevsky with Joan, which is gonna expertise some dailies, and ZL expertise with Herman, and obviously Herman doesn't really need expertise. It says Herman 5551. Looking at this, I would say it depends on your gear. Like if all of your marches are geared perfectly, then you can start looking at what your 4th and 5th March should be. Like especially if you're skeptical about making a 2nd Archer March because you don't know what the next commanders are going to look like, building a Siege March isn't bad necessarily. I really would prefer having like QB and Belly as a 4th March before you consider a Siege March, as it'll benefit your other marches a lot. And when it comes to making Siege Marches, you have to gear the whole thing. And I just don't know if you're in a position right now with 3 marches where you're transitioning to being like a really strong field fighter, if you want to delay that by buying dailies with Margaret, where you could buy dailies for Scipio, or you could buy dailies for William, or you could buy dailies for other commanders that might be good for auxiliary. For example, like Alex might be pretty strong here. You know, if you're going like Scipio with something and Alex with LC, or Scipio with Alex and then putting Wallace on LC. Like Alex is a pretty good pickup here as well. Is Margaret bad necessarily? I would say no. I would just say by the time you get Margaret to a usable spot through dailies, I don't know if like a next V formation is going to come out or if a next really OP commander is going to come out, and I don't know if you're going to be able to make good on the gear investment that you need for Siege at the same time. I think that you're putting the cart like way before the horse if you do that. So I would say no, I don't think it's a good idea. Later though. Later. Next question here from Odin. I know you made a video about migrating back to KVK2, but if you already have a good T5 account, how bad would you really be set back going back to KVK2? As far as I know, you can get, I think it's like 5 to 7 coins for a KVK win. So let's say you migrate back to KVK2, KVK3, and then KVK4, you're back into Season of Conquest. So it's basically 2 KVKs. We'll say you win one, you lose one. Maybe like 10 coins down the drain, which is 5 pieces of KVK legendary materials. We're gonna say, I don't know, like 500,000 season coins, which is gonna lead up to like 500,000 season coins per KVK, which is gonna be 1 mil total, which could be 3 like legendary accessories. And it could also be, you know, the half off materials, the transmutation stones. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that you lose by going back, but it mostly means 2 KVKs to where you go into the KVK map and you still don't have Season of Conquest barbs. So I mean, if you're not like super active, it would make more sense. But if you're going back to KVK2 to be the most active player you've ever been, unless the alternative is you literally quitting the game, it seems really bad, right? You know, if you were to take that activity and put it into Season of Conquest, you'd be in a really good spot. Once your account is kind of like maxed in every way, I suppose you could technically go back, but with Iconic Refines, like are you ever really maxed? Not really. So I think it really does hurt you going back. But I mean, like, you know, if you need to do that to keep playing, or if all your friends are back there and you already have 5 marches, like, it's not the worst idea. I just don't like it. I can just see, as somebody who's chained and coached so many accounts, I can just see the damage being done. Final question coming from Storm6193. Outside of making multiple accounts, what are some good tips to make farms and then have them migrate into the main account? If you're trying to get like farms in from other kingdoms, I mean, if you have like friends in other kingdoms that can let you into like a pretty active farm alliance, that's a pretty good idea too, just to make sure you're getting helps. Or if you can like sneak your way into an alliance, if you're like, hey, like I want to, you know, port this farm back into my main kingdom, you know, you go into one of their alliances, you get chests for like a couple hours, and then you just kind of shoot through all the quests. If you have a couple good friends in other kingdoms, I have not done anything like that in a long time. But if I could, you know, like I have, for example, I have a couple slaves in, that's crazy. I have a couple farms in like 1343. Like I'm sure some of the 1343 guys would definitely let me sit in the top alliance for like, I don't know, like an hour or two with my little account and just like heal up and leave, right? But I mean, like if you have like friends around, like that's a pretty good way to do it. That won't take forever. But I mean, other than that, like you still are gonna have to passport your account in. Like that just kind of is what it is. There was a point in time where when you started KVK, you could like make 2 more farms like back in the map, and so every KVK you could build 2, but those days are over. Those days are long gone, sadly. But yeah, have yourselves an absolutely great day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this type of content, please drop a like, a follow, consider subscribing. If you guys want coaching, remember we do coaching on stream for 35 bucks a session, off stream for 75 bucks a session. If you guys want to help support the stream, the best way to do so is by donating to the Streamlabs link in the description below. And of course, guys, I'm going to catch y'all later. See y'all tomorrow with our episode 15 of Farms Out. Sorry about the crash. You know, I cannot stop my computer from exploding, but we are actually putting in for our new computer this afternoon, I'm pretty sure. So I'm really excited. Thank you to everybody that donated to the PC fund. I know you guys were waiting for the PC to come in like, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and obviously we took longer than that. So sorry about that, but the PC is going to be here. It's going to be gas. Maybe we'll do like a PC building stream, something cool like that. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.